Hi, my name's Phil. I'd like to talk about politics, and the winner for the poll for today's viewer choice was about the police warning about inflaming Brexit tensions. Now, throughout the last few months of the intended Article 50 period of Brexit, those campaigning to leave have increasingly resorted to threats if we don't. There have been threats of rioting the length and breadth of the country. MPs have been sent threatening messages if they support any action which keeps us in the EU. Even Brexiteer MPs and peers have been making these threats in Parliament itself. Now, to my mind, the direct comparisons between the very large but peaceful demonstrations of Remainers and the much smaller but more aggressive demonstrations by Leave supporters shows us two things. One, yes, there are Leave supporters who seem intent on civil disorder if they don't get their way. Police had to get involved in one Leave demonstration and there was a lot of threats of violent reprisals in the other, more recently. Two, but the numbers of Leave supporters who felt passionate enough to either march or demonstrate or even just click an online petition was much smaller than those who were wanting to stay. If people don't care enough about leaving to even just click a box on a screen, are they really going to riot? I don't think so. Besides, many passionate Leave supporters still stay on the right side of the law. It was telling that at the last demonstration, about half of them seemed to be appalled that Tommy Robinson was addressing the crowd. In addition, last week, senior police officers have been saying that there is no intelligence of any acts of civil disobedience being planned. I mean, let's face it, if there had been plans to spit their dummy out on this scale, it would surely have been time to coincide with the date when we were originally going to leave the EU. For the police to have heard nothing and for there to have been no protest, legal or illegal, when we extended the process, that means the threat has to be extremely low. The police are still preparing for what they term the worst case scenario, of course, but they're not expecting it. They have 1,000 officers which can be deployed immediately and 10,000 officers which can be deployed within 24 hours. The army had already been put on standby anyway in the event of a no-deal Brexit, so I imagine they'd be available as well. However, they have been warned about inflaming passions over the issue. The police noted that there was a lot of angry talk on social media. Officers around Westminster have also noted a marked increase in abuse being hurled at politicians, and a number of MPs have required extra security. Indeed, a few weeks ago, MPs were being told not to leave Parliament on their own. They were to travel in groups or get taxis. Female MPs in some constituencies have been particularly targeted with threats of violence, which have led to calls for more security for MPs in general. Now, I've been talking in the past about how that would be a disappointing path if we had to walk down it. You know, I'm quite proud of the fact that in the UK, our MPs are available to the public. They don't need to hide behind bulletproof glass. You can make an appointment to see your MP at fairly short notice and you'll be face to face with them. You can go and watch the Commons debating matters from the public gallery, as long as you don't glue your arse to the screens. Screens that only actually had to be put up, I think, because a group failed to behave themselves during the Tony Blair government. But some of the most dangerous rhetoric can be coming from the MPs themselves. Thugs who would normally keep their mindless actions under wraps will see no reason to do so if even our MPs are perceived to be condoning their actions. You know, by pro-Brexit MPs threatening violent disorder should Brexit be averted, then it's like the blame is being removed from the criminals and placed on others in Parliament who are working to leave the EU. They'll feel that their subsequent actions are not only justified, but actually supported by elected representatives. It's much like the marked increase in hate crimes, particularly of a racial nature, which preceded the referendum results. As this was an issue of foreigners in some people's minds on the Leave side, not all, of course, I'd like to emphasise, then the result was it's like a majority in the country agreed with them. Hate crimes have remained higher since the referendum than before it. So it's MPs who have been warned particularly to mind the language they are using concerning Brexit. Not that it seems to have had much impact on them. If anything, the rhetoric has been ramping up the last week. I imagine they know they'll never realistically be charged with inciting violence because they'll just say, no, I wasn't inciting violence. I was just saying this is what would happen. Recently, MPs have had their houses attacked, their constituency offices attacked, violent abuse shouted at them in the street. This is not normal behaviour, and it's neither random nor opportunistic. It's directed acts of violence by people who profess to care for their country and its citizens, but are happy to let it all burn just so they can make a few extra rubles. Sorry, did I say rubles? I meant quid. MPs have also found it difficult to arrange meetings in their constituency, which might have helped to mitigate some of the issues with that access. And that's because they've been required to stay late in Parliament almost every day recently. I was reading an article by a Conservative MP who was describing the personal issues as well. One MP was in tears as they had to try and explain to the whip that she needed to take her child to hospital. 3 other MPs have partners who apparently are dying at the moment. They're having to face almost daily decisions as to whether, they are with those partners or in Parliament in case a vote is razor thin. MPs, even the arseholes, are still people with the same everyday problems that we all face, and they don't need constant threats of violence being thrown their way just because a minority won't accept the rule of law. And I think it's incumbent on all of us to make sure that they condemn behaviour like this, and we all condemn behaviour like this, and make sure that we don't, no matter how important we think an issue is, ever suggest that people should take the law into their own hands, or that people somehow have the right to abuse politicians just because we don't approve of their actions. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the issue. Let me know what yours are below. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe for further content, click the bell notification as well. And until next time, I'll see you later.